Hello everyone, welcome to Native Mobile Bits. If you are checking out our community post, so I'm sure you are already familiar that we are going to start a series on reactive programming. We are going to learn RX Java, RX Kotlin and some of the features from RX Android. And I know that most of you will be having these questions that why not coroutines? There are several reasons. So first reason is I try to, put out videos in a systematic manner. I want to tell you that why we was using RxJava, how we used it, but then what are the shortcomings we was having while using RxJava. Then why we adapted coroutines and we loved it even more. There are reasons to everything. We started using Rx because of some reasons. I want to tell you those reasons. I want to tell you how we used Rx. Then I want to tell you what are the shortcomings we faced when we was using Rx. And that's why I'm going to take you to coroutine series later on and I will tell you that what are the advantages coroutines was bringing to the table. So if you know that what was the shortcomings and then I tell you about coroutines and its advantages, then you will like coroutine even more. So it's like this. There are two technologies. One technology was having some shortcoming or some advantages, right? Then one another technology came and it was having some additional advantages, right? So if you know that what was the reasons, what was the shortcoming of one technology, then you can appreciate the another technology even more. And there is one another high point. So if you know Rx or if you don't know Rx at all, and if you are going through your Android interviews, there are high chances that your interviewer can ask you some question from reactive programming. So if you know Rx, then this is one additional benefit for you. You can ace your Android interviews. And there is one more advantage. Let's say you are going to join one another company, one new company, and let's say they are using Rx in their code base. So if you know Rx, you can easily understand their code base and you can be productive as soon as possible, right? So that's why we are going to explore Rx first and then we'll move towards coroutines. Okay, so let's start today's video. In our previous video, we have learned like there is something called asynchronous programming, and if we want to make our applications smooth, we need to use asynchronous programming. Now there are several tools to implement asynchronous programming inside a Android application. We can either use coroutines, we can use RxJava, we can also use normal thread management system, right? So reactive programming is also one very popular skills which Android developers used over the years inside their Android applications. So the main question is what actually is reactive programming? Okay, so reactive programming is basically a technique where we deal with asynchronous data stream. Okay, some data is getting transmitted from somewhere, we listen to that and we react accordingly. Okay, it can be anything like some data is coming from server, we just listen to that data and we populate inside our list view or recycler view, right? But the mechanism is pretty clear that we can listen on any thread, we can update the data on any thread, and based on our convenience it can help us. Okay, we can easily do thread management inside our applications using Rx. Okay, so if we want to listen the data on one thread, we can easily do that. Okay, now you will be having the question that why we need Rx inside our application. So as I told you, the main reason is we want to keep our application smooth, right? So the simplest answer is to improve the user experience. So in short, we need to do a lot of threading, right? We need to do a lot of thread management in order to make our app responsive. And Rx help us in all of these things. The first and main important thing is explicit execution. If we start a task on a new thread, we should be able to control it, right? There can be n number of thread inside our applications when we are doing a lot of API calls or some other work. We should be easily able to control all of those threads. We can do that with Rx. So we can say that Rx help us in thread management. Okay, so it's like this. If we are having a thread which is getting some data from the server and then we want to do that on background thread, Rx will help us to do that. Then if we want to pass that data to our UI thread, we can easily do that with the help of asynchronous programming, and Rx will help us in that as well. Now the question is, when should I apply Rx to my code? Right? So the simplest answer you will get is depend on your complexity. So if you start applying RX at a certain level, you will feel that it's making your code even more complex. At a starting, you will feel that it's making your code even more complex. But after a certain point, you will feel that it's making your complex code, complex logic even more and more simpler. And that's the beauty. If you are taking a normal Tesla car to your grocery store, right, which is very close to your home, you will not feel its power, right? You can think like I can just take a normal taxi to a shopping store and I'm just good with it. But if you are going on a highway road trip, that time you will feel the power of a Tesla, right? So it's similar in your coding technique as well. If you are using a small project and if you start using reactive programming inside it, you will feel that no, reactive programming does not help me, and you will feel like it's very complex. And I have seen several developers also, that's why they don't like RX because they feel it's very complex, right? But it's not like that. After a certain point of time, you will feel that reactive programming is very useful, it's very simple, and it's making your life very easy while you are coding a lot of complex features. That's why I encourage you that you should learn RX Java and you should at least know about it, right? And I know that it's based on your team preference that if they want to use RX Java or if they want to use coroutines. But I encourage you that as an Android developer, you should be knowing these both technique, right? You can use any technique. So if you go to any company where they are using RX Java, you should be able to use it. If you are going to a company where they are using coroutines, you should be able to use that as well. And if someone asks you, do you know RX? You should be proudly say, yes, I know it. It doesn't matter that if there are 10 developers you have met and if somehow they don't like RX and they told you that no, it's not good and you can just use coroutines. You can use coroutines and I also love coroutine. But I still encourage you that you should be knowing all the things. You should be knowing RX as well. Why you should get scared if there is something complex, a little bit complex? After a certain point of time, you will feel that yes, it's very easy. And that's why I am also starting RX because in my previous experience, I also met developers who are very skilled, but they also told that they don't like RX. They don't like using it and they just are good with coroutines. And I don't know why, because I also love coroutines, but I equally love RX as well. And I still will. Like sometimes when I try to use RX, I still like it because over the years I have used it and I know that what are the shortcomings. But there is a way to handle those shortcomings as well. Okay, so let me end this video with one note. So tell me one thing. Just comment out the answer you like. Okay. So I will give you one question. You comment down the answer based on your opinion. So suppose there are 20 Android developers. 10 Android developers, they only know coroutines, for example. And there are 10 Android developers, they know RX as well, they know coroutines as well. If you are trying to build a team for your own project, which Android developer you will choose? Who knows both of these technology or who just want to know only one technology? Just comment down your answer and I will see you in the next videos. Okay, if you like this video, you can hit the like button or you can share it with your friends and please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video where we start the coding part.